What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there pulling in some monster pots. Check out this session. Way negative variance. Lost some big pots that I probably could have won. The cards were cold for this session, but got a lot of interesting spots to look at. Let's jump right into it. We'll get the big win of the night out of the way on the first hand. We have pocket aces in the big blind, playing a 100 NL table. We get an open raise from Monero in under the gun +2, and we have a poster to this player's left who makes a call. It folds around to us, and we are going to be 3-betting here with aces, especially when we see two very loose pre-flop callers in Monero and Airtrack who have VPIPs of both over 40%. Both these players are short stacked as well, so we want to make our bet sizing a little bit smaller to try to induce these players to call, and it will be much easier to get their entire stack in throughout the hand because they are short stacked. So we make it less than 4x, make it 3.75x, and we get calls from both players. There's now $33.50 in the pot when we see the flop, and both these players have between $30 and $40 in their stack, so they are both already pot committed. And we wind up flopping a top set here. We shouldn't have a problem getting the entire stack of both these players in the pot throughout this hand, so we are allowed to check back right here and hopefully induce some of these players to chase and bet on draws. We get a bet of $15.91 and a call. Now the biggest stack is only $22 behind, and we can pot commit them right now. I don't think any player will be getting away from either of these hands at this point in the hand. So I raise to $89, just jam all in, and we get calls from both players. See that we're up against top pair, jack kicker. He's got some backdoor draws, and we're up against a 7-6 for a gut shot. We're looking at about a 78% favorite right now. 4 doesn't help anyone, and the 3 on the river does not help anyone either, and we take down a $138 pot with the top set of aces. Even with that hand, we still wound up down $86 throughout this session. Let's look at where the downfalls were. Still at the 100 NL table, we have pocket jacks this time under the gun. Open raise to 3x. We get a call from a middle position player, and we get 3-bet by the cutoff to $11. We see that this player has a relatively wide 3-bet range, is a recreational type player most likely with only a sample size of 115 hands, and has been pretty aggressive so far throughout these 115 hands. So I decided to 4-bet to try to isolate this player, and I think that we are ahead of most of his 3-betting range with the pocket jacks. And we get a call. There's $54.50 in the pot. This player only has $26.50 behind. Flop is 2-tone, 2 10s and a 7. We have the jacks, which are most likely good, and we also have backdoor flush draws, but this player has already committed themselves with the pre-flop call, and we can get it all in here. And they of course call because they flopped a full house with the pocket 7s. That's a big time flop, and a very unfortunate one for us since we were a 80% plus favorite pre-flop and down to 17% real quick. Our only out is going to be a jack or a 10. We wind up hitting a straight on the river, but that is not going to cut it against the full house. And we wind up doubling up. Fireball 1986. Great flop, man. We'll get you next time. Ouch number 2 of the night comes with this hand. We have ace-king suited in the small blind, playing at a 50 NL table. Folds around to us. I see this player's really loose numbers. It is a very small sample size of only 32 hands, but has 3-bet over 23% of those hands. Pre-flop raise is 31. VPIP is 50. This is crazy aggressive, crazy loose from the fish poker, and we can't really say too much about that because it is a very small sample size, but that trend continues when he 3-bets us, and I 4-bet it. I make it 16 to go. Going to be pot committing ourselves as well as this player when this player calls or raises, and they do just call. There's 32 in the pot with 34 behind. Flop is 8 high. I lead out, and at this point I am still betting for value against this player's range. I think there's going to be a lot of broadways by the way this player's played so far, and they jam all in, and we were already pot committed going into the flop. I was planning on getting it all in here no matter really what the flop was going to be. So I do make the call, see that we have this player absolutely dominated until the queen on the turn, and we wind up doubling up another player in a spot where we were way ahead. We were an 87.5% favorite on the flop right there when we got it all in, and he hits a 3-outer to the queen on the turn. That was a big swing for our session, as well as the hand before that. At the 100 NL table again, we have ace queen of hearts in the small blind. The hijack player leads out for $3. Pretty loose so far. Recreational player, don't have a lot of info on this player. So instead of 3-betting, which probably would have been a better play, I decided to just get in a pot with this player and call pre-flop and wind up flopping the nut flush draw. I see this player's very high bet on flop percentage and decide that was the line that I was going to take, would be a check raise here. So this player leads out for $4 and I make it 13 to go. A lot of the time when this player leads out, we're going to be able to get rid of a lot of smaller pairs, less than kings, and probably a lot of hands like this one where there's a king with an incredibly weak kicker. But it doesn't work this time around. Queen on the turn gives us a little bit of showdown value. So I just check back and let this player bet again, 15 bucks into us. By the way this hand has already played out, I know there's a good possibility that this player does have a king in his hand, but we're still drawing to the nuts, getting pretty good odds here. And this player does still have $64 behind. So there's a good possibility that if we make the call, we could get this player to commit their entire stack with the nuts. The river is pretty much a blank. If anything, this improved our opponent's hand. So I just check back, trying to get the showdown cheap. Hopefully this player checks back as well and was betting with some type of draw that also missed. They do check back, show a king deuce, which I thought was a pretty loose call on the check raise with the flop, but you win the pot, more power to you. That was a big pot for you. We wound up missing it. I'm not entirely upset with the way we played this hand. We're just missing them today, you guys. Back over to the 100 NL table, we have ace queen in the cutoff, open raise to 3x, and we get a jam from the big blind, who is incredibly short stacked. Jams in for 1565. That makes it 1265 for us to call into a pot of 1915. Very small sample size on this player, has played pretty tight so far throughout that sample size, has only 3-bet premium hands. We do not have a premium holding, but we're still getting pretty good odds here, a little bit less than 2-1, and because of this player's incredibly short stack, I think he might open up his 3-betting range here. So I decided to make the call with the ace queen, see that we're up against ace king. Unlike earlier in the session, we do not hit our queen, and the ace king holds, and we wind up doubling up a player right there. What do you guys think about this one? Should I have gotten rid of this hand? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now we're moving down to the 25 NL table. We have ace king suited, hearts in middle position, open raise to 3x. We get calls from the cutoff and the button, and we get 3-bet by the big blind. Who is Keemster? What's up, buddy? You might be interested to know what I had on this hand. I do think that Keemster is playing a pretty tight range in this spot, but I also think that ace king plays pretty well against his 3-betting range here. I also think that there's going to be a lot of other ace kings in his range, so I decided to 4-bet. I make it pretty big, pot committing both ourselves and Keemster. We get folds from the cutoff and the big blind, and Keemster does make the call here. There's 1910 in the pot. He only has 1206 behind. We are both pot committed for this one. We wind up flopping the nut flush draw as well as 2 overcards, and he checks back. I just put them all in here. We do have a very strong drawing hand, and I will be perfectly fine with either way this plays out, if he folds or if he does call. We do get a fold from him. I have a feeling he had another ace king. He was probably wondering what I had during this hand, and now you get to see it. I'm guessing you didn't put me on ace king though. That was a pretty big pot to pick up without seeing a showdown. I'll take it. Head down to the video description for links to America's Card Room, where I do all of my poker playing. Sign up for an account. I'm going to try to get some free rolls and home games going on America's Card Room. I've kind of been talking with America's Card Room. They want a little bit bigger of a following, but we're working on it. We're getting there, and I'm looking forward to getting some of those games going so that you guys can jump on there for all the the subscribers I'll be giving out passwords. So sign up for America's Card Room if you have not done that yet. Use promo code DKPoker to receive a $1,000 match deposit bonus as well as 50 tournament bucks. Hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on any of the poker action, as well as the passwords to the tournaments once we get those going. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Share this channel with any of your poker friends who might also be interested. I'll see you guys soon with a new video, but until then, I'm gonna hit the virtual felt.